So the way I create cavity maps is basically through using some Photoshop filters on the red and green channels of the normal map. Now this isn't something that I came with myself. It's something I saw on the Polycount forum, I believe it was. Just a discussion of different ways to create cavity maps, and there are a lot of different ways. But this is the one that I kind of settled on using. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically copy the red and green channels out. So I'm going to go to the green channel, Control A to select all, Control C to copy, go back to RGB, and Control V to paste. And I'll go ahead and rename this to green, just to keep ourselves organized. I'm going to turn this layer off for now, and go back to the background. If you stay on green, and you go to channels, and you'll notice that all these look the same, because it's looking at this green layer. So you want to make sure you want to go back to background, and this time go to red. Same thing, copy it out, rename it to red. So we'll go one layer at a time. So if we look at these layers, the green channel, for example, what we're going to be examining is the lighting, so to speak. If you kind of imagine this as a relief, you can see that the light looks like it's shining from above. So all of these surfaces, you can see this bump here, and the shoulder pad here, you can see it looks like it's being lit from above, and the shadows are on the bottom. So which makes sense. The green is basically Y, so to speak. If you look at red, you can see that the light appears to be coming from the right side, and the shadows are on the left. You can, especially with the feather, it's pretty pronounced here. In red, it makes sense because it's kind of like X. So what we're going to do, go back to the green channel, and I'm going to run emboss on this. Now, what I'm looking for is, I'm going to go 90 degrees for here, and I'm going to keep it to pretty low at 1 pixel. You can experiment with deeper, but normally 1 pixel is good enough for what I like to do. And I'll press OK. So the reason I did that was because I want that angle to match the angle of the light, basically. So since the light in the green channel was coming from above, I matched that angle. And I'm going to do the same thing with the red channel. Filter, stylize, emboss. So if you remember last time, the light was coming from the right side. So I'm going to move it here, which is 0. Again, 1 pixel. Okay. And now I'm going to fill the background layer. I don't need the normal map anymore, although you should always keep your normal map around. But I'm going to save this as a separate file, so it's fine. I'm going to fill it with 50% gray. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, filled with 50% gray, and I'm going to change these layers blending modes to overlay. So you can see the result. This is 50% gray, overlaid on green, and then overlaid with red. And so you can see it took the lighting information from up and down, and on this one left and right, and it combines together to create what I like to use for a cavity map. Now, if I go back to the beginning, You can make Photoshop actions to do this kind of thing, and I have an action here, and all I need to do is just invert the green channel because my Photoshop action is actually designed for -Y in the green channel. So I'm just gonna go click cavity, and there it goes. Basically did it for me. I'll quickly show one example of what you can do with the AO map and the cavity map. Here's the same texture, this time with just the AO, and this is kind of edited. This isn't straight from the bake or anything, but what I'll do is have the cavity map in here, and if I switch this layer to overlay, and what order to do is, you can see the difference when I toggle it on and off. It defines a lot of the details for me. And you know, if you just look at the AO, it looks really blurry and soft by comparison now. And you know, if this effect is too strong, you can change it to soft light, or just lower the opacity. And of course, you can also mask out areas where you think it is inappropriate. But a lot of times I like to just leave it on overlay. I like that strong effect. I feel like from a distance this is kind of what helps the texture read. But you know, there are a lot of different ways to use this information, this cavity, including using it for edges. But we'll get into that more in the next file when we talk about texturing.